Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
TikTok has been banned from Tasmanian government devices following in the footsteps of other states, territories and the Commonwealth. It comes as the government awaits a move from hackers holding sensitive data.
Endless scrolling no more.
Chris Mincy, I am in Cooma.
TikTok's been banned from Tasmanian government devices. Cybersecurity staying in the headlines following a data breach.
We'll be monitoring very carefully to see if there is any action taken by those who have accessed this information. That will be the trigger for further communication and response.
The government doesn't know or hasn't revealed who's affected by the Department of Education, Children and Young People data breach. And the education unions brought the cane out. President David Genford calling the government out of touch for failing to properly inform people affected.
I think the Tasmanian public deserve at least the opportunity to be able to have knowledge about their own personal data.
Extra staff will be made available over Easter to manage the evolving situation. The Technology Minister's been at pains to say it's not the government's own systems that have been breached, rather those of a third-party file transfer system. However, it's still Tasmanians' data that's potentially been accessed on their watch.
The Tasmanian government have a responsibility to make sure that the personal information of Tasmanians is protected.
We're responsible for our overall systems and we have third parties who provide services for us.
Crown Resorts data, accessed in the same Go Anywhere breach, has been released onto the dark web. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Vulnerable Tasmanians are benefiting from a scheme creating more independent living options. The Supported Affordable Accommodation Trust developing a design to suit different physical and intellectual needs.
Safe, spacious and social, this new share house is designed for Tasmanians living with disabilities.
Many people on the NDIS don't have the luxury of having a house like this where the rent is pegged at a fair rental based on the pension.
The home is fit with 3 2-bedroom units, each designed to suit different levels of care.
We can have 2 people of very independent means living in a unit, and we can have somebody else in one of the other units who may have quite high support needs 24/7.
Each unit is connected to a communal living room and laundry, with a sleepover room for staff also on site.
If somebody is disturbed or unwell, then that staff member can get up and tend to them.
This home is one of 10 across the state, built by the Affordable Accommodation Trust, another currently underway in New Norfolk.
The houses are leased out on a long-term basis, 20 years, to organisations like Russell's who provide the care. We've deliberately gone with 6 different service providers because there was a huge demand.
The federal government helped fund this Clarendon home.
The federal government investment here means that a house like this will be able to be built every year from the income from these houses being on the ground.
The future of more homes like this could be dependent on the federal government's $10 billion housing fund, soon to be debated in the Senate. Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
Hobart renters are still being slugged by record prices, according to Domain's quarterly rent reporting. The median house price remained at $550 per week, while units saw a small increase to $480 a week.
We know it's really tough for families in terms of affordability, but even in terms of actually being able to find somewhere safe, affordable to call home.
The annual growth rate has slowed to a 2-year low, providing some hope the market may ease. The state's fishmongers have once again hooked Tasmanians on fresh Easter seafood. Shoppers keen not to be caught short for Good Friday have been out in force, with retailers run off their feet.
It's the Easter feeding frenzy many of us have come to expect. Launceston's Kiama Seafoods flat out as Flathead sold out before lunch. The consumer chaos has been ramping up for days.
This week we've filleted, it'd be close to 10,000 kilos of whole fish. Yeah, we've split probably close to 2,000 dozen oysters.
Perennial favourite Gummy Shark will also feature on dinner tables this weekend. On days like today, it takes dozens of staff to keep the fridges filled. Kaima is expecting to do a month's trade in less than a week.
We worked pretty hard for the 4 days on the lead up, and all the staff worked pretty hard for the 4 days, so it's good for everyone to just be able to shut.
Hobart's waterfront also reeling in fish fans ahead of the long weekend.
We're open at 6 o'clock and it's just packed, like it's crazy. And then lunch is another big rush, and then when people knock off work, it's another big rush.
Those looking for a sugar rush have also made sure to get their Easter shopping done in time. Anva's doing a roaring trade for anyone with a sweet tooth.
It's been really busy. We've been selling lots of eggs, which makes everyone happy at this time of year. Everyone wants chocolate.
Savvy shoppers keen to avoid the crowds turned out early to pick up their weekend supplies.
I think because the shops are shut tomorrow, they think the world's going to end.
Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
The Don River Railway has seen a surge of support after being damaged by fire on Tuesday. Trains were once again going full steam ahead today. The railway expects passengers to flock to the age-old drawcard over the Easter weekend after receiving strong support from local suppliers and tradies.
One local electrical contractor was working here till 3 o'clock in the morning to make sure that we could have power to the station building here in time to be running trains today.
Fundraising has now eclipsed $6,000. A raft of Youth Week programs have been given a cash injection, including a first for a Northwest skate park. Locals at Olvie Park will have the chance to grab some airtime under lights when one-off infrastructure goes up.
Rolling into Ulverston, a money spinner for Tasmanian youth. A special nighttime showcase on this skate park among the Youth Week events getting a slice of a $20,000 funding pie.
It's good that we can have activities and things for the youth that will actually interest them and, encourage people to come.
It's among 18 projects statewide receiving a splash of cash for Youth Week in early May.
It's about honouring and respecting, recognising our young people, their talents, their potential, their voice in our communities.
It really is a wonderful opportunity for the community to get behind our young people and to really recognise their contributions to our wonderful state.
And wonderful skills will be on show when the one-off draw card attracts skaters, scooters and rollerbladers alike.
I think it's important to represent all kinds of youth.
On the night, this area will be lit up by temporary lights, and if it proves successful, they'll stay for good.
It's definitely cool to have the lights and so we can actually continue to skate.
Everyone on deck to emulate their idol.
Gonna have to say Tony Hawk. He's been playing his pro skater games for years.
Victoria Easto, 7 Tasmania News.
A Tasmanian icon is being honoured by Mach 1 as part of its 5th birthday celebrations. The public voting in Bonnarong Wildlife Sanctuary's Greg Irons as a room character. His story and photo now illustrated on a suite door with tokens of his work weaved throughout the room.
Our whole team, especially this time of year, is just exhausted after what's been an extraordinary season of rescues, and it is a pretty thankless task at times.
He's got his own way of connecting people, and that's connecting them to the welfare of animals, and so he fits perfectly with the theme of the hotel.
Greg is one of 13 faces new to the hotel. Registrations are now open for Speak Up Stay Chatty's 3rd short stay, sparking mental health discussions. This year's theme is Find Your Way, encouraging people who can't or don't want to wear shorts to get involved through other means.
Hold a morning tea and make that a day where you actually create some change. Spark a conversation with a friend or a family member about how they're travelling, or give yourself a bit of an evaluation on how you're travelling.
The RACT is standing with them, coming on board as this year's major sponsor. It started as a mutual love for chess, but became a true checkmate. A Devonport subway worker has shared the story of his friendship with a loyal elderly customer who surprised the sandwich artist by leaving a gesture of his gratitude in his will.
You could call him a good Samaritan, but to Alex Kremneff, it was an ancient game's magic which produced a rare bond with an elderly customer.
We discovered that he enjoyed chess as I did. He couldn't find people to play chess with, so he had an electronic chessboard.
Alex later collected that electronic chessboard when it was left to him in the man's will, a final gesture to say thank you for a friendship which spawned from the subway counter.
So I thought that's really something that should go to his family But no, they said that he actually had it left in his will for me.
After 26 years as a sandwich artist, Alex is well known to customers at the Devonport store, but he made a special effort for his chess-loving friend who was struggling in his later years.
I just treated him like a normal person, even though he had a stroke and couldn't talk or walk properly. It just gave him a bit of dignity, I think, and it probably meant a lot to him.
Alex is now passing on his love of chess to his 9-year-old son, who I'm told often has the upper hand.
Checkmate.
Good thing I'm here for a confidence boost.
My dad taught me when I was younger. It's the strategy of it. You've got to try and think ahead.
Now he thinks of his checkmate every time he plays. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
More than 80 Year 12 students are feeling footsore tonight after finishing a grueling 80-kilometre walkathon. They walked through the night from Deloraine to Mowbray, raising much-needed funds for charity.
Very relieved that it's all over.
It was worth it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, well and truly worth it.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience.
Yeah, for a good cause too, yeah.
It's the 60th year Launceston Grammar has held the event.
Nathan Ellis had a freakish moment of magic in the IPL overnight.
Or is that out? Is it off the bat and the boot? Yes, it is. What an effort, what a catch.
Joss Butler was in blistering form before his shot misfired, hitting his pads, leaving Ellis to launch forward for a superb caught and bowled. The Hurricane star took 3 more wickets for the Punjab Kings to finish with 4 for 30, earning him man of the match. His side beat the Rajasthan Royals by 5 runs. The Easter long weekend is nearly here, bringing a number of statewide cup matches with it. The Glenorchy Knights are going into the Lacko Seljack Cup with confidence after beating Riverside 5-0 on Saturday. They're hoping to do the club proud with links to the Lacko Seljack name.
We've got a handful of new guys to the club this year, so it'll be something that we speak on tonight at training in terms of who Milan was and what the club are for the Croatian community.
The team will be going up against the Hobart City Beachside Football Club at 7 o'clock tomorrow night.
Good evening. Hobart, 22 degrees today. Launceston reached 20, Devonport 19 and Burnie 17. Grove, Campania and Bushy Park 23 are warmest. Temperatures sat between 2 and 4 above average. Flinders Island 21, Friendly Beaches and Strawn 20, King Island and St Helens 19. Lyowini scrambled to a top of 13. Low-level cloud did bank up over the north as higher cloud moved right across the state as the day progressed. A band of middle and high cloud containing thunderstorms is moving over Victoria and our region. We'll find out about that on the weekend. At that low breeze to the west as well. Tomorrow, all that messy stuff crosses Tasmania, the trough extending northwards. Winds east northeasterly at 10 to 25 knots, tending southwesterly later in the day, just 10 knots over the lakes. Forecast for Good Friday, a wet one. Hobart 21, 23 for Huonville, 22 for Campania, all showery. Launceston, a possible storm thrown in, 21, same for Devonport, 19 the top and 20 for Georgetown. Burnie expecting a high of 18 and showery conditions. Strawn 19 degrees, Wynyard 19, all with showers. And down the east coast, a couple of storms in the northeast. St Helens 20, 21 for Swansea. At Port Arthur, showery and 21 degrees as well. To Saturday, showers again and the chance of hail over the north. Snow to 700 metres and all temperatures under 20. An even colder day on Sunday with more showers. The north not copping too much of that. And into Monday, similar weather with fine conditions for Launceston and Burnie, but showers elsewhere. A shower or two further north in Perth. Showers easing from Adelaide. A storm possible in Melbourne. Stormy weather also for Canberra, Sydney and Brisbane. Darwin and Broome also on the wet weather radar. Cloudy at the moment, mostly in Hobart, 15 at the moment, 16 in Launceston. Bit of rain moving in over the northwest, Devonport currently 15 degrees. Have a great Christmas break, Lou. Unlike you, I was unable to afford all the crayfish that you've got for tomorrow, but I'm sure I'll grab some seafood somewhere at a takeaway.
I'm sure you could try and go out on the boat and catch something. I'm sure you could do that. Thanks for that, Murph. And that's all your news for now. I'll be back later on with updates and I'll be back with you as well tomorrow night. Thank you for joining us. See you then. Good night.